So I often make the argument on this show that there is no difference between corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans. They're both paid by the same lobbyists to maintain the status quo of oppressing working class people and making their elites richer. And they achieve this by having the Republicans always do everything they can to push the Overton window to the right. Trump has a full Republican cabinet, so why shouldn't Biden have a full Democratic cabinet? Why doesn't he have a Democratic cabinet that's filled with people that are similar to Bernie Sanders if there's an increase in popularity and that kind of ideology? And since Bernie Sanders came in second place, shouldn't we be complying with what the people want? Also, why aren't we pushing him left now? Why are we waiting for after we vote for him to push him left, like many people are doing? Now, I know some of you who are still calling him out now, I know some of you who are still going to vote for Biden are calling him out now so that he can improve, but there's a lot of people who are like refusing to criticize Biden at all until after he gets into office, thinking that that's going to change anything. Or some of them might even be making a bunch of excuses for Biden even after he takes office. Also, these corporate Democrats like Biden, they think that we should compromise with Republicans more than we should compromise with progressives who want Medicare for all, which the majority of the country wants. So take a look at this article from Politico. Biden eyes GOP candidates for cabinet slots. What the fuck, guys? Why are we allowing this to happen? So the article says Joe Biden's transition team is vetting a handful of Republicans for potential cabinet positions, despite doubts it will win him new support from the right and the risk that it will enrage the left. Reaching across the aisle to pick senior members of his administration could shore up Biden's credentials as a unity candidate, a message he's made a cornerstone of his campaign. Past presidents, including George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, have all done the same. But that tradition died with President Donald Trump, and liberal Democrats are already warning that a Republican pick, even a moderate one, could sow distrust within the party before Biden even takes office. So among the names being floated for possible Biden cabinet posts are Meg Whitman, the CEO of Quibi and former CEO of eBay, and former Ohio Governor John Kasich, both of whom spoke at August's Democratic National Convention. Massachusetts GOP Governor Charlie Baker and former Senator Jeff Flake have also been mentioned, as has former Representative Charlie Dent, who resigned from Congress in 2018 and became a lobbyist. When asked for comment, a spokesperson for the Biden transition said only that the team is not making any personal decisions before November 3rd election, but stressed that the diversity of ideology and background is a core value of the transition. There is no diversity in ideology here. They all have the same ideology of doing what their donors want them to do and going into all these wars and oppressing people and not giving people free healthcare during a pandemic. They all agree on imperialism. So to all my friends who want to vote for Joe Biden, how is this a win? He's having the same people from the Bush administration on his administration to carry out the same stuff that we've been doing already, but worse, because it just gets worse and worse and worse. A Republican does a whole bunch of horrible shit, and then we get a Democrat, and the Democrat does a whole bunch more horrible shit from building up from what the Republican did. And then after the Democrat, we have a Republican that makes things even worse, and then a Democrat that makes things even worse. This strategy of voting for the lesser of two evils isn't working anymore. We have to show them that we're going to go somewhere else. Otherwise, you're just going to keep doing the same shit and going like, oh, they're going to vote for us anyway. All we have to do is pretend like we're less bad, we're less worse than the other team, even though we're going to do the same thing that they do. So let me show you something that John Kasich, a Bush type of Republican, said about Biden.
I'm sure there are Republicans and independents who couldn't imagine crossing over to support a Democrat. They fear Joe may turn sharp left and leave them behind. I don't believe that because I know the measure of the man.
So how are we going to move Biden to the left if he's more likely, like John Kasich said, he's more likely to be pushed to the right? He's going to have all these people in his ear pushing him to the right. I remember when Democrats from when I was a kid were disgusted by the Bush administration. They were disgusted when they found out that they were lied into war. They were disgusted by Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and all other war criminal corporatists. But now those very same people are happy with this simply because Orange Cheeto Man bad. And they always bring up like the stupid argument, oh, but they actually knew how to act. Like they were more polite. They weren't harsh like Donald Trump. Is that really all you care about? Is being polite as they're bombing people, as they're starving you and making you poorer as they make their donors richer? Is that really all you care about? You care about being polite as people get kicked out of their homes more and more every year? Trump is less hawkish than these Republicans, by the way, than these George Bushes and Colin Powell's. Trump is less hawkish than them. He didn't get us into more wars, although that is a very low bar that was set for him. These kind of Republicans, though, like George Bush, like the Colin Powells, like Dick Cheney, they just hate Trump because he's more outspoken and exposes our corrupt government's true intentions. They're like they dislike him for the wrong reasons. They think that he's playing the game of imperialism wrong, and they want people in office who are going to be more competent and carry out these acts of imperialism, acts of war, in a way that is easier to deceive people. So they see Biden as more competent to carry out these acts of war. That's not a good thing. So Joe Biden, he's a Republican, and so is Obama. But don't take it from me, take it from Obama himself.
That the truth of the matter is that my policies are so mainstream that, you know, if I had said the same policies that I have back in the 1980s, I'd be considered a moderate Republican.
Also, Biden is way more conservative than Obama. So expect the country to be moved further and further to the right, at least in our government, if we get Biden as president. Stay informed, people, because we don't have two parties. We only have one.